First is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No.
No. It's actually blood.
Why did they have to use owie to say that right after he said boob lust? I mean, come on, man. What are you... Obviously trying to make a statement there.
But more important,
And welcome back to Danganronpa, where we are about to start trial number 2 to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro. Oh gosh, I butchered his name. Alright, let us begin, shall we?
The murder weapon!
What was used to deliver the fatal blow? It was the dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Oh, come on! Missed.
That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
No, it wasn't.
Chihiro.
I know what it is, it just wouldn't freaking do it.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
I mean, you gotta.
Yay! That's so creepy!
if you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What?
Really?
For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Is it though? Would you like to hear more? Sure. Lines of white noise appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as an obstacle to your debate. But there is a way to keep white noise from getting in your way. Attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. Oh boy. If you shoot down an actual mark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time won't decrease, so take careful. Oh my gosh. Okay. The heck does all that mean?
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Finally!
No, that's wrong.
Gosh.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No.
No. It's actually blood.
Why did they have to use owie to say that right after he said boob lust? I mean, come on, man. What are you... Obviously trying to make a statement there.
But more important is the other characteristic. And it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
They're always, how the...
I got it!
They're always...
Apparently,
Yeah.
in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way.
But it's with scissors, though.
Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
Okay.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie! What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind
Hemophilia.
of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It's because of this associated multiple personality thing. Alright, what am I getting? Let's see. There we go. S. O. Skits. Oh, I have to shoot it multiple times.
Now I understand.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
DID.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine, I'm fine. Yeah. Was that dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top ending and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. It's quite concerning.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Mm-hmm. Won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
But I thought all the things were male and Chihiro is female. Well, spoilers, but yeah, you know. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I don't think she did it.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. Whose thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... Wow, what?
Oh, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Why is her tongue way out of her mouth?
Yes! What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality.
Are we sure about
One
that?
of them happens to be a serial killer. You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
That's not true.
Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is Genocide Jack, beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
No, it's not.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The
No.
act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
I like the laugh, but...
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
I kind of believe her. Still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all this. Truth time. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus
Operandi matches.
No, that's wrong.
There we go.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Suspended with a
You
cord.
don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Scissors.
I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Victim's fatal injury.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
Correct.
According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Mm-hmm.
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
That's creepy.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
What was used to suspend?
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases,
It was the
something
scissors.
else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I use my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else?
What?
Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
They're all boys.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Keyword girl. Boy.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They're all boys.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Oh gosh.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl!
Oh.
And the mopey side of me just hates it! But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, You wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival.
But you just... Didn't you... Doesn't that contradict everything you said earlier?
And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that? Da-da-da-da!
Where'd she get the scissors?
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore! Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Yes.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Yaka knew.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I'd put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Come on now.
Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
You've been suspicious this whole time.
Look, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
The locker rooms, they're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
But how'd you know it's
Nothing
Chihiro?
strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it?
How'd you know it's
Go
Chihiro?
ahead. Share with the rest of the class.
Oh gosh. Yes, here I have more about it. Truth flashback. Left mouse button. Then you'll memorize the weak spot.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we
Oh.
But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
No!
There we go. Finally. Gosh. Hey.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead.
It's like he doesn't care. Got him cornered, but he's acting like he has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
All the things were boys.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that
Rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Stirring it again. He's totally calm, just unconcerned. As if not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
What?
We kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that? It was definitely found in the girls' room, but does that mean... Can I really just... He can't go into the girls' locker room.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
No.
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
The carpets. Did I just take you off guard? When the story started moving to the crime scene, I could have been so confident that maybe I could never even realize the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Let's see.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big boobed supermodel.
Oh gosh, that's so
Don't
weird
you
to hear
think
that.
That's kind of strange. Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
And the image on it doesn't make it look like it was
I
blood.
bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
It's not that the scene was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room.
Unless
to
she was a
begin with.
boy.
No, she did have a way. And I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
So she stole someone's book?
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
No.
She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong.
There we go. I knew that one.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one.
AKA stealing.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, She must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
No, it's not it. But how did...
Hold on a second.
Thank you. I was gonna say, how did Byakuya even get in the girls' locker room? No one's asked
I
that.
agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right?
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Where the body is still there.
The girls' locker room?
Uh-huh.
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it
Be
again?
sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands?
Shut up, Ifumi.
No way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
I'm with him.
Very well.
But,
I'll
I mean,
do it.
depending for a body
you're a
thing, it's not a
girl.
sexual thing. You could do it.
You shouldn't have to touch a dead body.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
Shut up, Jill.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
It's a boy.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
It is possible. It's the truth. Chihiro is a boy.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he.
Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Shut up.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
So he could enter into the
And because the
thing.
victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
Why are you looking at him that way, dude?
This is the most titillating situation!
Shut up, Jill.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Don't know who did it.
Well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
Yeah.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Correct.
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
And he's smart enough to
And
recognize
Byakuya,
that.
When you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit.
In a
I just
condescending
happened
voice.
to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are
Why?
you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but still, you suck.
If it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
He didn't.
I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway,
Ants
let's
think,
discuss
actually.
this all as a
But
group one more
they're
time.
just hive-minded,
We still have
consciously.
time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Yaka didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we're sure about the killer. Killer had to gain access to the murder scene. The killer is a guy.
I got it!
It's the boys' locker room. You need a boys' handbook. Leon's handbook is broken. The killer had to use their own. It had to have been a guy. So. Celeste's account.
Isn't there a single clue that
might lead us to
who did it?
Oh, wait.
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah.
All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Oh, that wasn't it? Oh. Sorry.
Shoot!
Sorry.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Dang it. Sorry.
Shoot!
Sorry.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Yes.
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
Yes.
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over.
No, it's not, man.
You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
No.
No, that's wrong. I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that?
It was blue.
You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
It's blue. It's a blue jacket.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
Right.
He was on his way to go exercise.
Yep.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
How'd you know it was blue?
No, that's wrong.
Yep. You just exposed yourself, Mondo.
Hold on a second.
How'd you know it was
Mondo.
blue?
What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said... She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Correct.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
He did it.
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
She stuffed the jacket in her bag in a hurry. It's almost like she was trying to hide it. Just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit.
Yep.
That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
Why?
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
The way he talked? The way he was acting? Alright, that's not it.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah!
Russian
You
is
would
an
never
enemy.
do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of lead.
My time has nearly come.
Shut up and say what you gotta say.
What my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, did your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
It must belong to Chihiro's.
I got it!
Because he was missing it.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. but it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
I got it!
Weak point? I guessed
You
on
already
that.
told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip. But I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
It's part of the trial, man.
Us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
Yes, you
Then
demented
allow
bear.
me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried.
Interesting.
That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
Because he broke his own.
How'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
It was Mondo. Yep. Person wore all their clothes.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Because he's the bad
Mondo
guy.
and Taka
Well,
had
the
an endurance
thing.
contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
That is the proof. Oh, come on. Another one of these? Okay.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Does it though?
No, that's wrong.
I guessed on what that right one's supposed to be, but I got it right.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
No, it doesn't.
Here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just
He just
makes
stole the
things more
handbook.
interesting.
Stealing's allowed.
As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so.
Of course he's gonna say
I'm
that.
happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning. That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Closing, clear max interface. Alright, so.
20 minutes later.
First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room.
Right.
And how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster.
There we go, that's the one.
And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, But no, Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Owada?
Uh-huh.
Wait! No, this can't be right.
That's right.
Where's your evidence? Yeah, where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
Oh gosh. Yes. Press the space key. If you ever time activate and the tempo will be forced to its max at this point, even if you push the buttons around you won't miss. So you can push wherever you want and destroy the opponent's verbal assault. Oh. Oh gosh. Let's see how this goes.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. You're corrupt.
Gosh.
Show me some evidence.
This should prove it.
I guessed on how to do that, but that worked. Gosh.
If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
He missed it.
I did it. I killed him.
Oh gosh, that was hard. How'd I get A and all that? I screwed up so many times, and yeah, I got A. Ooh, 79 points.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Should I use his name in vain?
Roger that.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
It's Mondo Iwata. Mm-hmm.
What?
Looks like you got it right again. Yep, Black and Chihiro Fazaki was Mondo Owada.
Unbelievable.
The vote was not unanimous. Kiyatogo chose the wrong answer. Trend very close to danger, Mr. Yoshimaru. You need to be more careful. Refuse to believe it. There's no way you would kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why? Why'd you do it?
Now then.
There's a man taking a vow of silence, so let me explain on his behalf.
Actually,
It's a sad story of two men. If everyone doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit the left key to fast forward the text. No, I'm doing a playthrough, so I'm going to listen. There was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fusaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak even though you're a boy. He heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and bury himself further and further into that weakness, take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now, nobody would be even able to say anything about it, even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken out deep root inside of him. He was not so easily weeded out. Turned out the shell was completely empty. Complex didn't disappear, instead it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak.
I feel sorry for this. Once the killing game begun at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, the world of survival of the fittest, if you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course include Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more willing than divulge. Even though he dressed like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, that would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Not necessarily. Everyone figured out that being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling in despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry. But...
I'd also want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. And knowingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. I feel so sorry for this. I do. With the thought of the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action, and so... That day he met the commitment to begin exercise. He prepared to retreat train his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them the help from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Biker gang fella happened to be painfully clear about how important his manly promises were, so Chihiro probably figured that even if he could find Amanda, his honor would make him keep the secret. Yeah. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talk to Mondo about it would help me give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought the only way Mondo's support would be to ever able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then that must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he made to Chihiro. So Mondo switched the bodies to try to make it look like Chihiro was still a girl, even though he knew it was a boy. Huh? Did he do what? You mean that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room to the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean, yeah. Wasn't that to cover what he done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. Real purpose was to keep the promise between men he made. This is the most... If you've listened to me talk about this, you know I know what happens because I've watched the series on this. And this is probably the most painful one, honestly.
But...
So how does moving the body keep a secret?
Because...
If everyone knew he killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started, at least a few of us would immediately begin to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room, stealing his handbook, see? Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed? Why would he do that? You guys trust each other, right? So why did you? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
Nothing could have been that bad. Somebody didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone? It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat
How many times?
myself.
Yeah, to judge others by your own standards is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, you obviously can. That's all there is to it. While we're on the subject, what did I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that scenario he didn't want anyone to know?
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. The ultimate biker gang leader makes all the hoodlums and red across the country tremble. The only reason he had the chance to join again in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's other brother, whose name was Daya Uwada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of a starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. Before anyone knew it, it had grown to the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, number one in the gang, and his number two, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy, but when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his older brother someday, his brother's greatness and reputation began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this game with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All thou do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers from the other members of the gang, which is why I gotta get stronger than Daya. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I gotta care what it takes. And on the night of this amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. Kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly, Crazy Diamond. Laying in his kid's brother's arms, the other brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. I screwed up, sorry. Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. Because it's the team. You and me put together. It's a promise between men. This is the saddest one to me. It really is. I feel sorry for both. He kept his promise to the brother. He could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was going to lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got killed himself. That's become the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm strong. Strong. And yet, as soon as our killing game began, he realized no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the lovely, hateful Monokuma announced revealing the embarrassing secrets. And at that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on this secret. Mono killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other bike gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I've been carrying around, it would have been for nothing. So that's why Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled with all kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, the fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down to my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Because, I mean, you kept a secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I've been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong. I can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
Huh? I was jealous. Jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. See, this is what's sad. It's the kind of strength I've never had. So I was jealous of him. The biggest, strongest guy in Japan. Or in this country, you could say. The strongest guy by a country mile and everything, looking at someone who's so, weak and everything else, trying to say, I want to overcome what my issue is. And he couldn't do it. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong?
No.
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak, something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Supposed to sit back and let my secret get revealed, ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Why'd you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
I just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
I'm stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him, staring down at the ground.
I
killed him.
I killed Chihiro.
That's a hard line, man.
Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
It's sad. Secret from the past for a memory. For that, you killed another living human in cold blood. Couldn't free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't.
Yep.
I'll say as many times as I want, is what I want to say, but fortunately I can't do that right now because it's time for punishing. It's fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
Execution?
Well now.
That's what I promised you, right? The blackened disturbs the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For Mondo Iwata, the ultimate biker gang leader.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Yeah. See, that's the saddest one. It really is. Mondo has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Oh, gosh. He's got the same hair. The Cage of Death. Where is he? If he's gone, why is the motorcycle still intact? Mondo butter? I don't get that. It turned him in the butter. If it was hot enough to melt him, why didn't it melt the motorcycle too? Just my 2 cents on that. Why? Alrighty. Well, that was trial 2. And I'll leave it at that. So thanks for watching this. But I will see you on the next one. Alrighty. See you on the next one. Bye.